In this video, we will look at prepositions. Prepositions are meaningful links, right? So they show direction, time, placement, location. So without a preposition, the sentence seems a little awkward and incomplete. If I say, the paper is the table, I know something is wrong in that sentence, right? Something is missing. The location where the paper is, that word that brings in the meaning of location is missing. On. The paper is on the table. So you see how a preposition completes the meaning of the sentence. Also, one preposition can have different meanings in various contexts, right? For example, the preposition from. So, from has a meaning of origin. Where are you from? I'm from so and so place. It also has a meaning of source of information. Where did you hear about this class? I heard it from my friend. Your friend is a source of information. Or it can also bring in the meaning of reason, right? What happened? What's wrong? Well, when it comes to quantitative aptitude, I suffer from hypertension, right? The reason or the cause. Or it also brings in the meaning of a start of a period, right? I'm planning to go to the gym from Monday. Or a range of series. From 20 to 30 people attended the seminar. So you see how one preposition can have different meanings in the context. It's important for us to be aware of that as well. So let's apply this learning and learn to identify errors pertaining to prepositions in the context through some example sentences.
Let's look at our first example. The board's decision has provided employees with the opportunity to acquire up to 100 shares by the company. Alright, so the sentence is divided into 4 parts. Okay, so let's approach this. The board's decision has provided, let's understand the meaning of the context. The board's decision has provided employees with the opportunity to acquire up to 100 shares by the company. One way in which you can arrive at which part has the error is understanding the context, also asking questions if you are not figuring out the meaning the context is trying to convey. So for example, we understand that there are 2 parties involved here. The employees is one party, the company is the other party. So what's happening here? There is a decision made by the board, and what is the opportunity that the employees have or what the company is giving. So the shares, which is the main component, belongs to the company, and the company is deciding to give that, the employees with the opportunity to acquire 100 shares. So we understood the meaning of the context. Now let's go part by part and see if each part is conveying the right meaning. The board's decision has provided, so the action has started sometime in the past, right, and it is continuing up till now. Employees, who? Employees, with what? The opportunity to acquire up to 100 shares, okay. Is it by the company or of the company, right? So in this context, we need to look at whose shares are we talking about. The shares that belong to the company. So we're looking at a preposition that brings in the meaning of possession. By, on the other hand, gives us various meanings. I could say, I live by the sea. In that context, by is bringing in the meaning of next to the sea. Or I could say, I drove past your house in the morning. Or I drove by your house in the morning. So in that context, by is giving me the meaning of I passed your house. Right? So in various contexts, by has different meanings, but in this context, we're looking at a preposition that brings in the meaning of possession. So we make that change, and the error is in part 4. Right? So we change by to of. The board's decision has provided employees with the opportunity to acquire up to 100 shares of the company and not by the company. Let's move on to our next example. Over 80% from us feel that if we had taken some corrective measures earlier, the crisis could have been averted. Okay, so we have again 4 parts. Let's understand the meaning the context is trying to convey. And we can also look for hint words and keywords and clue words in the context that can help us identify which part has the error or could have the error. Over 80% from us feel that if we had taken some corrective measures earlier, the crisis could have been averted. Over 80%. Over here again brings in the meaning of more than 80%. So over in this context bringing in the meaning of more than as a preposition. And then I have From us feel. So feeling is something that people experience, go through, which is again something that is exclusive to you. It's a personal. An experience itself is personal, right? So is it happening from us, or what is the preposition that I need here? From as a preposition can have different meanings again based on the context. From as a preposition brings in the meaning of origin. Where are you from? I'm from Bhopal. I'm from Rameshwar. It can also bring in the meaning of source of information. Where did you hear about this course? I heard it from my friend. Your friend becomes the source of information. There in that context, that's the meaning that it conveys. It can also bring in the meaning of cause or reason, right? I suffer from cold. The reason why you could not attend something or you were absent for something. It can also bring in the meaning of start of a range of series, right? Or start of a period of time. I'm planning to start gym from Monday, right? So in this context, I need a preposition, not with all those meanings, I need a preposition where a personal experience is happening, right? Feel is your hint word right there. So you change from to a preposition that brings in the meaning of possession, which is of. We just looked at that in our previous example. So let's go ahead and make that change. The error is in part 1. So over 80% of us feel that if we had taken some corrective measures earlier, the crisis could have been averted. Let's look at our final example. It became clear that the strangers were heading into a serious disaster. And the highlighted word is into. And my options are along, towards, on, and no improvement. So it became clear that the strangers were heading into a serious disaster. Now let's look at our options. Into, the highlighted preposition in the context. What meaning does it convey? Into conveys a meaning of to the inside of, or a change of condition, right? Water turned into wine, or water turned into blood. There's a change of condition happening. Or I entered into the room searching for something, to the inside of. In this context, these two meanings do not apply. Let's look at our options. Along. Along as a preposition brings in the meaning of on the path of, by the side of, right? Towards brings in the meaning of in the direction of. So in terms of two words coming together, set expressions giving a meaning, which is nothing but collocations, which we will look at in the following classes. However, now you would have heard people use heading into or heading towards, which is a more probable collocation here in this context. And on, again, we just saw that in our previous example, on as a preposition brings in the meaning of lying on the surface of. It became clear that strangers were heading on a serious disaster. Incorrect. It became clear that the strangers were heading towards a serious disaster, in the direction of. That's the right preposition, bringing in the meaning that is required in this context. So here we replace into with toward. And click option B. It became clear that the strangers were heading towards a serious disaster.
So having gone through these example sentences, one, we know and we are aware that one preposition can have different meanings. Two, we're also aware that how important it is to have a particular preposition in a context, and sometimes there are some prepositions which are not needed. You don't need the preposition there in the context because the meaning is already complete. So watch out for those errors and continue practicing. Let's move to our next component in finding errors.